Hey, welcome back to another episode of Mike Check Real Life. My name is Mike, and I am your host. I'd like to thank you for joining us on our journey here. First thing I would like to request before we get started is if you could like and share this episode so we can get the word out to those that need to hear it. We really are trying to be an encouragement here for those that are out there still struggling in life, and we'd like to be able to offer some hope. So even if this episode doesn't speak to you personally, everybody knows somebody that's out there struggling. And if you could just help us reach them, that would be so amazing. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, if you could subscribe, that helps the algorithms show that this is actually of value. Also, if you're listening to the podcast audio on any of the many podcast hosting sites that we're on, if you wouldn't mind rating our program, that would help us in the algorithms there also. With that being said, I won't ask any more of you. Let's go ahead and get started with today's episode. Thank you so much, and God bless. Just a quick update this week. I don't have a lot really going on as far as a podcast goes this week. What I don't want to do is I don't want to sit in front of a camera if I don't have a lot to say right now, because this podcast isn't about me. And right now, I don't have somebody to interview. I'm actually recording late at night on a Thursday night. We're getting ready to fly out on Friday to go visit our kids and our grandkids, which we're super excited about. It's been quite a long time since we've gotten to see them. And so we're going to take the opportunity and go visit for a week and play with our grandbabies, which is our heart's desire. This past year has been very busy with work and my wife's business and getting it going, and a lot of big construction projects at work and keeping those going. And we've just been super, super busy and unable to get away. And so now we have the opportunity to go spend time with family for a week and really enjoy those little ones and even our bigger little ones, our children. And so we're going to take the opportunity to do that. So I thought I'd run in the studio this week real quick. I just got back from dinner with some dear friends that my wife and I really love. And we had an amazing dinner and an amazing conversation. This week's been packed with a lot of amazing conversations and a lot of planning and a lot of other things that we're going to have the opportunity to do here in the future. I'm still fighting with technology. I wish I had a production crew, but I just don't. I'm investing in things that aren't working, and I've got to get some help in here to figure these cameras out. But I will. But in the meantime, I'd just like to take the opportunity to hop on here. You know, when you're hearing this, it's going to be a real short message. I apologize for that this week, but I did want to stay in touch with you. I know this past week I haven't put a lot of shorts out and reels out and done a lot of promotion. I actually had a little moment this week. I actually got accused of self-promotion, which set me back. I'll be honest, it set me back a step. This isn't about self-promotion for me. If God's not in this, I don't want anything to do with it. This isn't about me. I don't desire to sit in front of this camera and be the only face that you see. I want to be in here figuring out the equipment so the people that I bring in here can share their testimonies and offer hope to somebody. I've wrestled with this for the better part of a year and whether I was supposed to do this or not after doing so many podcasts in the past and radio shows in the past. I never wanted to get on here and entertain. I didn't want to have a show. I didn't want this to just be about me. I don't want to build an audience, a fan base. I want to glorify God. That's what I want to do with this podcast. That's why I believe He has wrestled with me. If you think of Him wrestling with Jacob and touching the inside of Jacob's thigh, that's kind of how I felt over the past year, to the point that it finally came down to the fact that I really didn't have a choice to do this. You see, for me, this isn't about an audience. It's not about a crowd. It's not about lots of people following and a lot of people, subscribing and monetization and it's not about that for me. When we were wrestling, God and I, over this podcast and whether or not I really wanted to do it, I don't want to do it. I'm doing it out of obedience. I'm doing it because this is what He's asked me to do. My grandbabies live 2,800 miles away. If I didn't know that God had me right where He has me, if I was not certain, I had this conversation with our friends tonight at dinner. I have people here that I love, no doubt about it. People that I would miss if I left. But if God gave me the word right now I would be gone. For those of you that are listening on the audio, I tried to snap my fingers, but my arthritic thumb didn't really want to do much. If God said, oh, I would go right now. I would drop everything. You can ask my wife. It would not be hard for me to just walk away from everything and go just roll on the floor and play with my grandbabies and spend more time with my children. But this is what he's called me to do. And so this is what I'm going to do as long as he has me do it. I don't desire to sit here and entertain anybody. What I desire is what exactly he told me when I was in prayer about this. And it finally came to a head. And I was just very clear in my prayer, God, I don't want to do this and have, I don't want to be a personality. I don't want to be I did not want this to be about me. And I didn't want to reach millions or, tens of thousands or thousands or 20 and worry about all of that. And in my prayer time, it was clear to me that's not the goal. I was one individual out there in my pain and my suffering, in my self-loathing and my brokenness. And he left the flock. He left the 99 to chase the one. I was the one. If you don't know that story, look that story up about the shepherd leaving the 99 sheep to chase the one. And I was the one. And he made it very clear, my purpose here is not for the 99. My purpose is for the one. That's why I don't get hung up on followers. Now, I'll share with you how many listeners we had or how many views we had, or, because I'm absolutely flabbergasted because I didn't expect the numbers that we had. Matter of fact, when I got ready to open this video, I saw that we had a tremendous jump in the podcast listeners on the podcast streaming sites on Saturday and Sunday of last week, which it astounded me because I didn't expect, especially a new podcast, to get out the way that it did. I talked about, I think at the end of last month, how many views that we had. Now, by YouTube standards or any of the other social media standards, I mean, we're not a big show. I'm not reaching millions, which I don't want to do. But, the numbers that we got in 1 month, our first month, we were at 20,000 views, which astounded me. All I desire is that the messages here reach the one that need to hear it. Whether that's my testimony, my wife's testimony, the gentlemen that have gotten to share their testimony so far, if it would just reach one individual and make a difference, make an impact, that would be so amazing. And we've gotten some really good feedback. Now, we've also gotten some not so good feedback. We've gotten, some people that have, I guess, their conscience got the better of them. They heard some things they didn't like, I guess. I don't know. But I don't let that stop me. I got pretty thick skin. You could say whatever you want. You can put it down in the comments. I even had a guy when I mentioned Jesus coming back for a united body. I had a guy put a little yawn emoji in the comments, and I kind of got a kick out of that. People, I'm sorry if that bores you. I guess your life eternal won't be so boring if you keep that attitude, I guess is all I can say. I don't know. But I don't worry about those guys. The darkness does not like the light, right? Because when the light comes in here, think about a light switch. You flip on a light switch, what happens? You walk into a dark room, you flip on a light switch, and there's no more dark, right? The darkness is fleed. That's just the way it goes. And so the darkness don't like the light. It's not like you turn on the dark and the light flees. You turn off the light and the room may go dark, but every bit of light that is able creeps in. It'll find a way through the blinds. It'll find a way under the door. Light will find its way into darkness, and darkness does not like that. Darkness can't find its way into light. Think about that. It's actually pretty deep. So I don't know. I expect the darts. I expect the arrows. I expect the battles. That's not a big deal. But self-promotion, no, that's not anything I'm interested in. What I would like to do is I would like to reach the broken. And so that's why I'm here. I'm here to tell you that I love you. I'm here to offer you the opportunity to understand there is hope in a broken world. I know because I was broken. I can't even believe that God would take the time to fight with me to do this. Not that, it wasn't really a fight. You understand what I'm saying, hopefully, that he would want me from what I was to where I am, he would want me to be here to do. I can't believe it. I have a hard time believing it. But all I can do is be obedient. 2019, well, 2017, I walked away completely. I walked away and right back into depravity and brokenness and just the dregs of society. Basically, cursed him and walked away. And in 2019, when he called back out to me, I thought I was going insane. You may think I'm going insane too. But everybody around me thought I was going insane. But it was evident I wasn't, and even they could see that I wasn't, and that he was drawing me back in. And when he allowed me to come back in, I gave him my word that I would do whatever he asked me to do, and that I would give whatever he asked me to give. And if giving my time here in this camera is what he asks of me, then I'm going to do it. If being 2,800 miles away from the people that I love to work in his kingdom is what he asks of me to do, then I'm going to do it. When he's ready for me to be done doing it and he makes it known and he allows me to not be 2,800 miles away from my children and my father and my brothers and sisters, well, I will drop everything immediately. You won't see anything but smoke off my heels. I am not afraid to just walk away. My past has shown I'm not afraid to walk away from things. And that hasn't always been good, but I promised him I wouldn't run. I wouldn't leave this time. I would do what he asked me to do. And if this is what he's asked me to do, this is what I'm going to do. And I hope that you don't mistake it for self-promotion. I hope that you don't mistake it for a guy wanting to build an audience. I just care about one individual figuring out that there's a God in heaven that loves you, that wants you to spend eternity with him. And so much so that he came down as a mortal man and he gave his life so that you could not suffer anymore. Now, that doesn't sound sane at all, because some people are thinking, but I am suffering. Well, not for eternity. Yeah, we're in a fallen world and things suck around here. Not everything, but a good portion of stuff. Things hurt. There's pain, there's anguish, there's heartbreak, there's so much that we experience here, but nothing compares to what he experienced so that we could have a relationship with him. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a prophet. I'm a guy that was broken, a guy that went through life like a train wreck, and yet he made himself known to me and he chose me to be here. And if he wants to work through me to reach you, whoever you are, then this is what I'm going to do. When he's done with me doing this, then he's done with me. If we get 20 episodes, great. If we get 200 episodes, great. If we get 2,000 episodes, phenomenal. But if he's done tomorrow, I'm okay with that too. There's a song called Daenu. We were talking about that at dinner tonight. People think that maybe I will get a great reward for being here. My answer to that is, like I was telling my beautiful brother and sister tonight, I've already received it. Like Daenu, had he just allowed me back into the kingdom, it had been enough. Had he just let me have a relationship with beautiful, amazing believers, it had been enough. If he'd just allowed me to have a relationship again with my children, that would have been enough. And yet he continues time after time after time to show me how much he loves me by giving me more and asking more of me. And I just, every day, it's like, thank you, that's enough. But not that I'm going to turn away blessing, but you've already given me way more than I deserve. And that's an amazing feeling. I've never had that before in my life. And you can have that too. So I want you to know that you're loved. I love you. He loves you. You are worth so much more than you think you are. If you would like me and some of my friends to pray with you, well, I will forgot to put it in the last episode. I will make sure this episode has the phone number in it. I have a AI assistant kind of a thing. I got a phone for work. I got a personal phone. I've got the phone for this podcast for Mike Check Real Life. And obviously, for obvious reasons, I can't give out my work phone number because that's a work phone and it's for work. And I can't really give out the personal number because, you give out your personal number on the internet. That's probably not a smart idea, right? But so I've got this phone number for Mike Check. because I want you to reach out to me. I want you to be able to reach out and ask for prayer. I want you to reach out if you need a Bible. We'll figure out a way to get you a Bible. So if you call the number, I'm going to make sure that it's in the show notes. Actually, I can read it off of my phone right here. Please forgive me for reading right now. I will have to put on glasses, though, because I'm blind. So just a second here, and I will give you the phone number right here for Mike Check. The phone number for Mike Check Real Life, 423-740-2293. Again, the phone number for Mike Check Real Life is 423-740-2293. Our email is MikeCheckRealLife@gmail.com. Again, MikeCheckRealLife@gmail.com. So that number and that email is for you to reach out to us for prayer, for conversation. Now that phone's not on all the time. I am busy. But as I was saying, I got this AI assistant kind of a thing program set up. The voice even sounds like mine. It's kind of, my wife got to listen to it the other day. But you can actually tell this assistant, why you're calling. You can leave your contact information, your name. You can request a Bible. It'll take your mailing address. You can request prayer. Tell us what the prayer is about. All of that information comes to me. And if you want to have a conversation, I will figure out a time. I will text you when I open it and get all of my messages. I will text you a time to conversate because I'd like to be able to pray with you. I'd like to be able to talk to you. I've made a couple of contacts already, some people that have reached out through other means before I had this number. And I ended up with their contact information and reaching back out to them. And so I'm willing to do that. I would love to do that because that's my heart. I'm not a preacher. I'm not a pastor. This is completely outside of my scope of work. This has nothing to do with my job. Matter of fact, all of the views here and the opinions here are mine, not from my work. They're mine. They don't have anything to do with that. It's two separate worlds. So I just want you to know that there's somebody here. And I hope that if you're hearing this and you're looking for somebody and you need somebody to pray for you, or you need a Bible, or you need somebody to talk to, I hope you know that you can reach out. Now, I can't promise you that I'm going to be able to get to you right away, but I will get to you. And if I can't get to you, I find somebody that can. I can't help with finances. Please don't ask. I'm sorry. What little bit I do have, I'm trying to get this equipment working. But anyhow, I hope you hear my heart here. I hope you understand. This is going to be a little shorter episode than normal because we are getting ready to fly out. I'm not recording on a Sunday like I usually do. I don't have anybody in the studio to interview. I don't have a testimony for people of somebody that, that's coming in. I'm getting ready to fly out. And so I promised my wife I wouldn't be too terribly long tonight. It is late on Thursday before we fly out. And so I'm going to make this a fairly short episode. Thank you for those of you that are listening to the podcast on the many podcast sites, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Deezer. There's so many podcasting hosts out there. We're on so many platforms. A lot of them I don't even know which ones we're on. But thank you for listening. I really appreciate the support there. We had a significant jump in numbers this week of people listening to the audio version of this. And so that is really honestly baffling to me. I don't know. I'm set aback. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be here and that God is using this platform to reach the broken. That being said, I believe I'm probably about done. I'm tired. I feel my voice starting to get a little raspy and hoarse. And I look forward to being back here hopefully next week. You probably won't see a lot of stuff posted this week. I'll try to get one or two reels out maybe this week while we're on vacation. But again, please forgive me. I'm going to be playing with my grandbabies. For all of the people that God has put in my life, I thank you so much for your support and for your love and for your prayers. And remember, keep your chin up, keep moving forward. At some point, surrender. You've got to surrender and give yourself over to Him. I love you. God bless you. And we'll see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.